Welcome into 2021 Albany Dutchmen player introductions. I'm Joey Palatsky, voice of the Albany Dutchmen, and today I'm joined by three St. John Fisher players who are all Suburban Council products. Adam Zebrowski is a junior catcher at St. John Fisher College. He's from Albany and played his high school ball at local Christian Brothers Academy. Adam led all of Section 2 with a .612 batting average and also won Empire 8 Player of the Week in Week 1 of the 2021 season. Michael Poirier is a sophomore pitcher at St. John Fisher College. He went to local Ballston Spa High School, where he was the 2019 Suburban Council Pitcher of the Year and won the Class A Baseball Championship. Michael was also a member of the 2019 Albany Dutchmen. And Connor McHugh, a sophomore pitcher at St. John Fisher College. He's local, coming from Latham, and was the starting quarterback for the 2018 Section 2 football champion Shaker Bison. Connor was also a part of the combined no-hitter St. John Fisher threw on March 9th, 2021. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so the first question is going to be for all of you guys, really. You're all Suburban Council local products. Did you guys know each other before you got to St. John Fisher?
I'll go first if you want. I played against Connor quite a few times my junior and senior year. So we knew who each other. We knew each other and of each other. I wouldn't say we were as close as we are now. And then Zebo, we played together when we were 13 years old.
Yeah, 13, 14.
On a travel team together, so we knew each other from that before we ended up at Fisher.
Oh, so yeah, you two go way back.
Yeah, we were pretty young back then.
What team did you guys play for?
It's called the Storm. It was like the first year that the Storm travel teams were a thing.
Okay.
And both of us were on that team together.
Yeah, Connor, Adam, if either of you guys want to take that same question, go for it.
I'll go off that. So I played against Mike basically all of high school and played against Zebo a little bit my junior year. Me and Zebo are actually cousins, so in case that's a new information.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
We're actually second cousins.
Okay.
So I didn't even know that until freshman, literally last year. When I got here, my parents let me know that, and we've gotten close ever since that happened. So so that was basically it, really.
Wait, how's that work? How do you guys? You're from the same area. You guys are cousins?
Yeah, my dad is first cousins with his mom.
Interesting. Okay. It's a small world. Adam, do you want to take it too? Do you have anything to add on to it?
I mean, they both kind of said it, and then obviously being Suburban Council, we always played against each other. And I know me and Mike, I've hit against him quite a few times, especially out when I was at CVA and he was at Ballston Spa. He would always throw against us. So.
Yeah, Adam, my next question is going to be for you here. So you were Empire 8 Player of the Week in the first week. What did you do over the offseason to get back into the swing of live game action so seamlessly?
I was lucky enough to have a good facility down in South Troy, and Kevin Rogers always let me go in there. And I trained a lot with Danny Maynard and some of the other some St. Rose guys that are also local. And I basically just lifted and hit every single day in there. And I guess, coming out here in the spring, I was just really focused, especially with my first 2 years being kind of washed. Freshman year, got injured and was out the whole year. And then obviously last year, everybody knows what happened. So I kind of really wanted to put my best foot forward with this, hoping to be my first full official year.
Were you on campus last fall? I mean, any three of you guys, how's it been looking for you guys on campus as far as baseball stuff goes?
I think our coaches honestly do a good job making the most of everything. So we have a 40-game season scheduled right now, which is the most out of any school around us. And they do, I think, the best job out of anybody, just making it as normal as we can.
Yeah. Adam, next question. I just wanted to follow up on, what you just said. You said you were injured freshman year. What happened with that? What was the rehab process like too?
I dislocated my knee and chipped off part of my patella and tore a bunch of cartilage. Excuse me. So I was out probably 8 weeks, and I just, every single day I was spending with the trainer. And the toughest part too was being away from the team. I couldn't travel with them. I could only go to home games. So it was just a lot of working on mobility, and it was different because with chipping off part of that patella, now my kneecap is just smaller. Whereas somebody who tears an ACL or a meniscus, they usually repair that and kind of it's almost like a whole new knee. So that was the toughest part for me, was really the range of motion and putting weight back on it.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting. Connor, next question I have for you here. You were part of the St. John Fisher combined no-hitter against Clarkson earlier this year. How much of a confidence booster is that? Obviously, first game of the year, your staff goes out there and shuts a team down. Right off the bat, how much of a confidence booster is that for you and your pitching staff too?
Oh yeah, coming off like so early in the year, being off from playing for a really long time, coming out as a staff early in the year like that, going off with RJ, having a great start, 7 innings, and then being able to come in after him and shutting everything down. It was honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous because like I obviously it's a no hitter when you go in and like no one's really talking about it and stuff like that, but like being able to just go and shut things down, hand it off to the next guy, and having to combine one of the 4 no hitters at St. John Fisher in school history is actually pretty outstanding for me. Honestly, it feels good to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to touch on. Obviously, you're balance coming in a no hitter out of the bullpen. You're balancing, the nerves with, if it goes all the way, you're gonna be part of something special. Michael, next question I have for you here. You got your first collegiate start against the University of Rochester on March 25th, and it looks like you're gonna have a big role for these 3 guys and the entire Cardinals team this year. How are you stepping into that role this year? I mean, how excited are you?
Honestly, I'm very excited. So I came off of an off season where I really worked harder than I ever have. So I kind of came into this year like looking a lot. In my opinion, I think I look a lot better than I ever have before. So for me, it's just excitement. There's a little bit of nerves, but I kind of put myself back in the shoes of like as a high schooler. I started 2 games a week or 1 or 2 games every week. So I kind of just took that approach to it, and I told myself, you've done this so many times before, just do what you do.
That's pretty crazy to me because I know you were 2019 pitcher of the year in Suburban Council, and then you said that this is the hardest you've worked over the off season.
Yeah, 100%. This was the hardest I've ever worked in an off season.
You credit that kind of like Corona taking away last season, or like having more time to work over the off season, or I mean, what do you credit that to?
Yeah, honestly, so I'd say it's mostly the time that was available to me and just my friends from home. So like I have some pretty close friends, obviously from Boston Spa, and there's some really talented players. And all they want to do is practice. Like these guys, they're just like let's go hit, let's go do this, let's go lift. So just like being around those guys too, just kind of like dragged me into it a little bit. And then I just started to really get after it, just because that was the only thing we really had to do with our time.
Yeah, Adam. Next question's for you here. You hit your first collegiate home run in your first collegiate game, and then obviously we're here recording this in late March, and you already have 1 on the air. Just talk about the power and how much the long ball aspect of your game helps you at the plate.
It's definitely important, even if I'm not hitting as many as I'd like. Like we're already 8 games in, I have 1, which is obviously not where I'd want to be, but it's important for me too, because I think it's almost a rewarding aspect of how hard I've worked in the weight room and in that sense, but also too it's I think it's crucial, like as a threat. It's always a threat to the pitchers, as like they know I can get a ball out. So I think they change the way they throw sometimes, but that could just be me. I don't know.
Yeah. Connor and Mike, you guys are both 3-sport athletes. I want to get into that a little bit here. Connor, first question for you. So you played football, basketball, and baseball at Shaker, and you were a sectional champion at football at Shaker. Actually, I was a Gilderland student, so you guys beat me semifinals. That's still hurts a little bit for me. I remember being there. What was your favorite of the 3 sports growing up? I mean, did you know you were going to get into baseball more, or did you like football or basketball more? And did you get offers for anything else either?
Yeah, honestly, going into my senior year, I was really picking between football and baseball. Because I had interest from actually St. John Fisher for football and a bunch of other schools, just Division III, and it was really just coming down talking with my family about what sport I want to play and like what team I want to go for, what school, stuff like that. Everything kind of came in a mix, and honestly, after that football season and making it to the state semis and losing in a tough game in New Rochelle, I was kind of up in the air about what I really wanted to do. And then Coach Potter really dug in and really wanted me to be a pitcher at St. John Fisher. And he took me out campus, showed me all the facilities here, and showed me the legacy really that St. John Fisher baseball has in the Division III program that's doing really well right now. So he really kind of convinced me to take the baseball route. And I've always loved baseball since I was a little kid. And I've always wanted to play collegiate baseball. So that's really the route that I wanted to take.
Mike, next question for you here. your other two sports in high school were golf and cross country. You don't hear about that too often. How did you get into those two?
So cross country, that's a long story. When I was actually like probably 9 years old, my mom would run 5Ks. And I was just stuck there one time with my dad. Like the family went to watch my mom run. And then honestly, there was like a last minute registration for the race, and my mom asked me if I wanted to do it. And I said yeah, and I ended up running like a 22-minute 5K when I was like 9 years old. And then like ever since then, I just started running. And then the high school coaches were like, like, because I was running like local races and stuff, and the high school coaches ended up asking me if I wanted to do it. So I did that from 7th grade until 10th grade, and then I don't know, I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would eventually. Just like the training kind of sucks, and just running all the time just isn't really that fun. So then I stepped back from cross country and I started playing golf. Because I had a few buddies who played golf and always wanted to learn how to play golf. So I just started playing golf with like no golf experience at all, and I had a great time doing that too.
But so if the three of you go on the golf course this summer, I mean, are you taking Connor and Adam pretty handily?
I've actually never played with these two. I think actually McHugh played a better round than me. Like I'm honestly not.
I gotta say, I think Mike's a little rusty. I think I can get him now.
Well, I'll say they're both beating me because I play for power. I don't play the short game.
I mean, in high school, like in my senior year, I probably would have beat both of them.
Definitely. The coronavirus got me into golf a lot more, so I've definitely gotten a lot better in my time.
Yeah, no, I've heard about that a lot. I've heard about people getting more into golf because of coronavirus. Connor, you got into golf. Mike just kept grinding baseball. I mean, it works out for everyone. Adam, next question I want to ask you here. Obviously, you're the only one sport athlete guy in this group. Did you know from such a young age that baseball was going to be your future, or did you play other sports growing up, or how'd that look for you?
I did. So I did play a little bit of basketball when I was younger, and then I stopped freshman year of high school. I actually did play senior year. But yeah, I think like from a really young age, I always had a passion for baseball, and it was like everything I did revolved around baseball first, and basketball was always just like a kind of a secondary thing, but baseball was always my passion.
Yeah. Mike, next question I wanted to ask you here, obviously 2019 section A or class A state champ at Ballston Spa, and one of your teammates from that team, Evan Fox from Stony Brook, is going to be joining the Dutchmen this summer. He's been announced already. And then plus you got Adam and Connor joining you from St. John Fisher. Just talk about how special it is having both worlds collide and getting to play with guys from both teams.
Yeah. So, coming off that 2019 year, that was like something special. That was a special group of guys. And, it was, I guess you can say it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be on a team like that. But then, I came to Fisher and I kind of felt like you kind of feel the same kind of energy here, like a winning team, guys who want to be there. So I think, that aspect of it's cool. So, like the atmospheres of, both teams are pretty similar to me.
Yeah. Last question I'm going to ask this kind of for all three of you guys. Obviously, Connor and Michael, you guys both pitched to Adam all season at St. John Fisher. For Connor and Michael, just, how comfortable are you on the mound throwing to a catcher that, that's been calling your games all spring long? And then for Adam, just talk about how much easier it is to call pitches, knowing what these guys like to throw too.
I'll start it off. So yeah, given that Zebo started catching me last year, freshman year, and then he caught me for the Dutch, I guess you could say, this summer in the small little league we were lucky to have. We've gotten really comfortable with each other. Like he knows exactly what to call for me. I know what he's thinking, and it's kind of like even if I'm struggling, he doesn't even need to come out to me. Like we kind of already know each other in that sense, and like what I need to figure out if something's struggling, something's off, stuff like that. We're kind of thinking the same thing when I'm on a mound, just kind of are connected like that. And I'm sure Mike has the same things to say too.
Yeah, no, I would say the same thing, except I'm one of those guys, I'll shake off catchers all day long. And Zebo will probably, agree with that. But, I do love throwing to Zebo, and I love honestly, the thing I like throwing to Zebo the most is the way that he can frame the ball and the way that he presents his glove. That kind of stuff. It's like, he's a great guy to throw to.
And I'll just say too, I think me and Connor over the last 2 years because I probably caught him more than I've caught Mike. Like I really am on, like me and Connor are kind of on the same page. And Mike, I'm almost all the way there. But like Mike said, he is not afraid to shake. And I don't mind pitchers shaking because I think it's good for their mentality and their mindset to be like they're set on a pitch that they're throwing. So yeah, I think it's important too that we've developed a connection over the last, year and a half, 2 years to now be moving into the summer.
Yeah, that's going to wrap it up here with Connor McHugh, Adam Zebrowski, and Michael Poirier going from Albany out to Rochester at St. John Fisher, bringing that talent back to the Albany Dutchmen this summer. Guys, thanks for joining me, and I'm looking forward to a great summer.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome.